How does a family road trip become the origin story of a nation? Genesis 46 is the chapter where Jacob leaves the Promised Land, moves to Egypt, and reunites with the son he thought was dead. But this isn't just a migration, it's a divine setup. 70 people enter Egypt as honored guests. Centuries later, millions will leave as a nation. Let's walk through it. Jacob is old. His world is collapsing. The push factor, a devastating famine in Canaan. The pull factor, an absolute miracle. Joseph is alive and ruling Egypt. The wagons are loaded. The invitation is royal. But Jacob hesitates. Because leaving Canaan isn't just a move. It's leaving the land God promised to Abraham and Isaac. Is this obedience or abandonment? Jacob stops at Beersheba, the southern edge of his homeland. This is where his grandfather Abraham once called on God. And now, Jacob pauses. The doubt is real. Am I doing the right thing? Am I walking away from the promise? It's a moment of profound spiritual hesitation. And God meets him there. God speaks to Jacob in a vision at night, and he gives him a 3-part promise. First, I will make you into a great nation there. You will flourish in Egypt. Second, I will go down to Egypt with you. You're not alone. Third, I will surely bring you back again. This isn't permanent exile. It's part of the plan. This is the divine green light. It tackles his deepest fears head-on. The move isn't abandonment. It's strategy. The text shifts to a formal census. It lists every name, organized by the 4 mothers, Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah. This isn't just a random head count. The number 70 is foundational. It represents completeness, a perfect beginning. This is the charter of a new people. The family is becoming a nation, and it all starts with 70 souls. But wait, the text says 66 people traveled with Jacob, yet the total is 70. What's going on? Here's the breakdown. 66 travelers, plus Joseph, who's already in Egypt, plus his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, plus Jacob himself, equals 70. The math works. And the symbolism is intentional. 70 souls enter Egypt. A nation will leave. Joseph doesn't wait in the palace. He rushes out in his chariot to meet his father. And when they see each other, they embrace and weep. Decades of separation, grief, and longing pour out in that moment. Then Jacob says something stunning. Now I am ready to die, since I have seen for myself that you are still alive. This isn't giving up. It's fulfillment. The gaping wound of losing his son is finally healed. Joseph shifts from emotional son to brilliant strategist. The question, how do they thrive in Egypt without losing their identity? His answer, he coaches them to identify as shepherds. Why? Because Egyptians despise shepherds. This is the absolute genius of the plan. He uses a social stigma to his family's advantage. By highlighting what makes them different, Joseph ensures they won't be absorbed into Egyptian society. Pharaoh gives them Goshen, the best pasture land in Egypt. Geographic isolation becomes a cultural incubator. They're separate but provided for, protected but distinct. They preserve their faith, their language, their traditions, while growing into a nation. They entered as 70 honored guests. Centuries later, their descendants will leave as millions. The setup is complete. The stage is set. But how will their story unfold? We've hesitation, divine assurance, reunion, and strategic settlement. Before you go, sit with these questions. First, Jacob hesitated at Beersheba, unsure if leaving was right. God met him there with a promise. What move are you hesitating to make? And what would it look like to ask God for clarity before you go? Second, Joseph used their difference, being shepherds, to protect their identity. Where in your life is God using what makes you different to preserve what matters most? 2 questions. Breathe. Let them settle.